Good morning, friends. How is everybody? You guys ready for a little jump start this morning? Wow. Well, I'm glad everybody's doing good. We got Tom in the house. We've got Susan in the house. And Janie says, hi again. Thanks for yesterday. I got to see your critiques and learn tons. 6 months of art school in 20 minutes. Oh, thank you so much. And that was the whole point of this, is that this stuff isn't necessarily easy, but it isn't hard too. It's just a matter of concentrated attention and effort, right? It's kind of hard to learn something this complicated and this intricate if you visit a class once a week for 3 hours. But since so many of us are at home, I thought, why not see if we really put our heads down what we could do in 30 days? So let's find out. So this morning we're going to give some jump start to 3 painters, and I'm excited about all of them. So if you guys are ready, why don't we just jump in and get started? All right, let's see if we can jump over to the photos real quick. And some of these I have befores and, well, befores and nows. Let's not say before and after yet. Hey, all right. So the first one we'll look at is 2 apples on the windowsill, which is brilliant, very colorful. And I can't wait. I was looking, I didn't know if this was the exact copy of the one before. I was looking at the earlier one and I couldn't find it this morning, so I apologize for that. So I'm not sure if this is a copy or after you worked on it, but let's take a look. I think we can do some good things with this. And then this was the initial one that was sent in. And then we talked about it. We talked about how all this yellow and orange was just really kind of too much and demanding our attention. And she's come in and darkened this down and really grayed that off. But now it's kind of just feeling gray. So this is fantastic, and I'm glad I have the opportunity, and she was so willing to share it with everybody. We're going to see how to get out of that. I know all of you have been, it just kind of looks gray. What's wrong? I'm not happy. So that'll be fun to do. And this is where that's at now. Right? So I am so looking, that looks like there's some atmosphere in there. Some atmosphere. So we're going to put a little light on her and clean up some of those colors. And man, she's just going to shine. Going to shine. I can't wait. And then this was the first that was turned in. And we talked about on this one how it's important that whatever you need to look at has a light and a dark that is more than, lighter than, and darker than, and stronger than whatever we're sitting on. And that light and color has the most impact. And so by this being so light and colorful, the dogs were essentially becoming invisible. So, wow. Wow. And so now we're talking about what's next and how to get that moving around, which admittedly she hadn't been able to work on yet. But I mean, what a difference. Do you guys see that? So what do we see in this painting, right? We see the skeleton in the background and we see the dogs. What do we see in this painting? And that's what I mean about visible, right? Is it visible? And when you disorient yourself, it can be a lot easier to see what's actually visible. Right? This is what we're seeing right here. And then, of course, the second reads there. But the dogs essentially are going away. right? Because they're losing out. They're less than this because this is so freaking powerful, right? How powerful is it? Look, it's making like orange red go silent. That's how powerful it is. It's really powerful. And so she just, boom, took that power away. Look at that. So that's where we were looking before. And now we're definitely looking at the dogs when we're up here. Okay, so fun, fun, fun. And this will be fun because we get to, oh my goodness, look at all you guys in here. Boom. So you guys are awesome. Miss Cindy's viewing from another room or somewhere else. And wow is right. Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah. We got a bunch of wows in here. So good job. Good job, good job, good job. So happy. So happy about all of that. All right, why don't we add this and do a little dance. And get to work. So let's look at the apples first. So I really appreciate you guys so much, and if you find it valuable, I really do hope you'll like and share and tell anybody who might be interested in art about our December schedule so that we might have some more friends to learn and grow with. Okay, so this is a backlit situation. Meaning that the light is coming in. That's a little thick. Putting it on a little thick this morning, don't you think? Okay, okay, okay. The light's coming in from behind, right, and coming forward. We can see it hitting right there, and then the shadows taking up most of the apple. So, like always, I'm just giving it a good think before I charge in and start seeing. One of the things I can see immediately I think will help is if we just drop this value down a little bit. Because there's too much to look at right now. We want to look at all of this, right? And I would say that's the main subject. But this is so bright and beautiful that our eyes are drawn there too. So let's think about maybe knocking that back just a bit. I'd also like, I don't see the element of white. And I think if we could get some white on the apple as a highlight somewhere, that would go a long way in separating off the apple from the background a little more. And this is an interesting problem, and there's many artists who've done it, but some Russian artists come to mind that would have somebody at open window and then the backgrounds. Some current artists that jump to mind is Daniel Sprick does this very well. He'll have an entire indoor scene, and then just as background, he'll have a scene outside the window. And it's so gray and light. So let's see if we can't get a little bit of that effect. So I think we'll be graying this down a bit, maybe lightening it up, changing the value, but graying it down. And the same with this color is really strong there. So that's the idea. So enough with the ideas. Let's get dirty. Let's get some paint moving around here. First of all, let's see what white will do. So I try to think in having at least 4 distinct characters, and not many more than that, but about 4 distinct characters in my painting. Dark being one, so in here the shadow of the apple is going to be our dark character. And then gray being another one, right? We've got the gray handled really well. And this is some gray too, but I think we're going to drop that value a little bit. Of course, we've got the dark in here. And right now there's dark here too, and we've got to turn that to gray. We're going to have light and highlight here, right? And we'll probably use some gray here as transition. So in other words, every character is going to be mingling right here. Every one of them. But down here, we're just gray. Up here, just gray. And even back here is going to be gray. Now, back here, this gray may be more colorful than we're used to, but we still need to distinctly separate it off as picture plane background, right? And so that's the difference. We can have a little aesthetic foreground back there, meaning we can take your eye back there a bit, showing that this is a sunlit day, but it has to read as picture plane background, meaning that that is different in background to those apples. What's with all the thinking, Jason? I thought we were going to get to work. I know, you and me both. You and me both. So let's start with the shadow here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make our shadow more of a silhouette. We've talked a little bit about this, and the shadow being quiet. And I'm going to come back and put some reflected light in here. But for right now, I'm going to keep it flat. Okay, and then we have a similar action going on over here. And you see what the flatness does is it gives visibility, right? It kind of says, hey, I'm a thing. I'm happening. And the reason it does that is because the strongest paint is flat. The bigger and flatter the note, the stronger it will carry. And I don't care if that's shadow, if that's gray, if it's color or highlight. The bigger the note, the stronger it carries. So what happened with those apples right there is I just made those shadow notes larger, right? So that they registered for sure. And then let's continue those shadows. But now we're going onto a windowsill that appears white to me, or whitish. And we want a shadow. We want shadow. So where are we going to put that? Maybe warm blue, warm purple. I tend to kind of work in layers. Like, I think that's too big of a chroma jump. You guys see that? To me, that feels, the values are about the same. Like when I squint down, you know, and maybe that's the problem too, is it is a little bit darker than the apple, and that won't be the case unless it's a dark accent. So let's lighten that up a little bit and gray it down. That still feels too blue to me. I have feelings, you know. I have feelings. And see, I think that works better because this has a bit of red in it. So those colors got closer. And essentially, if something feels too loud or too far away, you're going to figure out how to bring it a little closer. Okay, so let's try that for right now. Let's see if that works. Let's just see. Okay, that feels pretty good. And again, you see how since the value's the same and the note's getting bigger, it's getting stronger. And then, of course, we could show that that continues down like that. Maybe not so strong, but something like that. Okay. You know, and I thought yesterday kind of taught me a little lesson. I try to be in charge and I try to be disciplined, and okay, you're only gonna work at 15 minutes, you get in, you get out, and it's just not how it works. So I'm sorry if I'm a little long-winded, but this stuff takes time. It takes time to do, it takes time to execute. So let's take some time. So I like that. Do you see how now immediately those apples stand out from the rest of the scene? I mean, they just really stand out. So while we are here, what would be a good color there? Right? Well, I think she's actually done a great job of lighting those apples up. And what I'm trying to do here is get it where that red doesn't appear, like the light, like when light hits red, it's lit. But even though I've got some white in here, can you see how that's a clean color? Like this yellow has so much white in it, right? Versus this has a bit more color in it. And that's a measure that's really, really important to find. And why is it important to find? Because white sits cleanly on top of that. Right? And even though you can see white off there, the impact is not the same as it is here. Right? And one of the purposes of each of these notes is to accentuate and be different from and accentuate all the other notes. And so that requires a certain amount of distance or separation. All right, so let's go back to our beautiful color here. And again, this is more graphic than you need to be. And what I mean by graphic is just kind of hard-edged and clean. But I just want to show you this principle and also get you in the eyes the difference between color and gray. Right? And it always depends on what's there. Now I know this looks more like a drum than an apple, but it's because we've got the hard edges right now. Boom. But at this point, again, we clearly separate from that background. Then let's add, right? If you want to, who do you invite to the party if you need to spice things up? Huh? If you just need that finishing touch. And see, the problem with putting white on the edge is, does anybody know? If you got a round circle, if you put white on the middle, it's round. If you put white on the edge, it's flat. So part of the challenge with backlit situations is, where are we going to put that white so that it says form and not flat? Right? So for that reason, we can't put it, I mean, we can put it here on the edge, but again, it's going to have the effect of flattening our form. So almost the only place left would kind of be inside here. And that would be really small, right? As this dips down and then comes back up and then turns, boom, like that. Okay, and then the other part of form is in the light. In the light, we've got color. And then what else is in, how do we show a plane change? Well, blanched. So our blanched could be in here, and our blanched could be right there. Is that enough? Is that enough? Right? If it doesn't register, it might not be enough, but see, I'm out of value. So all I can do is kind of gray it out or blanch it out more. And so let's try this apple and see. So blanched where the color's light's hitting it. Right, where the light's hitting it. And then it'll turn to color. And then after that, what does it do? What does it do there? It goes gray. Right, which would be our air, or wherever we're going to get our gray, right? It'll go gray. Is that gray darker than that? Yeah, it is. Okay. Right, to soften that edge. And then our white goes, where does our white go? Where does our white go? Where does our white go? On the corner of, on the corner of, on the corner of, blanched and color. And so if we get that right, then we might, right, that'd be one way we could keep this round. Okay. Ooh, the other thing, right? So we gotta think clearly. What would happen, and maybe white is too much, but then instead of on the apple, boom, what if we put white on the windowsill? And what if we made that windowsill a little bit cool? And that will help it separate from that warm grass in the sunlight, dried grass in the sunlight background. Ooh, see, now to me that background almost feels just fine now. Do you guys see that? Good. Sorry, I've had my head down, but yeah, you guys got a lot of shouts out for the improvements over your paintings. So that makes me so happy. So happy. Good, 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 good. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And that's what this is about, progress. So what if we even let that background stay as it is, that yellow, and just grade off those curtains a little bit to the side? So if we're here with the wall, what could we do? You know, transparency is warm. So what if we went over to the warm side? So for instance, could we get these down to something like this maybe? And then maybe there's some light, and we could put some form, some warm and cool and stuff on it as well. But let's see what is this about? It's about the apples on the windowsill. So our first question is, how do we get how do we get those apples on the windowsill? Right, and that should be, let's see, maybe that's the shadow, and maybe, just maybe, I wonder if the light shines through there. A transparency, so to speak, a little more light. And then down below, maybe those curtains fall into full-fledged shadow. Oops. Oh, that's a little heavy-handed, Jason. Wow. Well, okay, it's early. Give me a little time to wake up. Come on. There we go. Right, and then that could turn around. Right, so we could still have a little bit here. Okay, maybe something like that. Anyway, some ideas. Yeah, it's 8:30, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Even though in my heart, like deep in my heart, I want to keep working. Because this is fun. This is so fun. Oops, I'm trying to soften these edges, but some of my layers are, I'm on the wrong layers, so it's just doing that. Anywho, we're going to move on to the next one. Great job. And this, yeah, you see, just saying it nicely makes it so much easier. I know. I could use some of that advice. Can't you say it nicer, Jason? I should be able to, but boom. Wonderful. Good job. Let's see. What do we say? All right, couldn't figure out the curtains. Right on. Yes. The best Christmas present. Good. I'm a giver. If I can give you guys something and it's a value, I am happy. Happy. The white window sill is still pretty spectacular in terms of what it does for everything. Yeah, and so when I'm teaching, what I do is I kind of lock in the roles of these characters play just until we get a handle on them and we know how to mix them. And then I can clearly see on your work, on everything you do, you have 4 groups, like a white, a color, a gray, and a dark. And then when I can clearly see that, we can talk about mixing these roles up. And so the white on the windowsill acts as to get you in the area of the apples without the white being a highlight focusing on the apples themselves. So again, even though we can change these roles, what does it do? It always goes back to the concept. What is this about? And if you start without a concept, well, you're not really starting anything. Right? You're just kind of wandering around in the woods. And that's fine to do sometimes if you want to wander around in the woods. But, oh, I should have moved on. I can't help myself. Here we go. But, you know, if you need to go to the market and get something, right? Again, as we just add and we add the form there, would there be, can we do, you know, I wonder, I seriously wonder. I do not know. Is there any way we could, now I wouldn't want to highlight up there, would I? Because that's right next to the edge. But is there any way I could highlight right around here a little? Maybe. So, I mean, we could just keep playing and we haven't even had to touch the windowsill. Anyway, let's move on. It's all fun. We got some other fun ones here. Oh yeah, this is, I'm really excited about all these. This, I don't even know what to say. I'm excited because this is set up to where, boom, now things really make an impact. So if everything feels gray, one of the first thing I do is I see, okay, what is a really clean color I can grab? And can I get when I say white, I'm talking white as a roll. It's not always pure white. Generally, pure white in a painting doesn't look so spectacular. It needs to be warmed or cooled or grayed just a little bit so that it harmonizes better. Okay, so just that we're clear, when I say white, that's what I'm talking about, is the roll of white. So shut that dirty mouth and just show us. We're not here for your raspy voice. All right. You guys have been hanging out with Izzy too much. Boom. Do you see? And again, I'm putting that in there as just an abstract spot. And I don't want to say color because there's not color, but it's a high value neutral, which is white, which is what white is. And then remember I was saying, okay, so what would be a good step down to color? And I don't know. So this color, does it look lit up? I don't know. It looks a little artificial, especially against that gray. Do you guys see that? Do you see how artificial this color looks? And the reason it looks so artificial is because of this background. And that's a great thing, because what that means is that we don't have to have half a tube of cadmium for our red to still be very bright. Do you see that difference right there? And as you guys advance, this is what's wrong with your paintings right there. Just this little bit. And that's harmony. That's harmony. Uh-oh. Okay, Jan. Somebody's going to be waiting to see those apples next. So I hope you got some time to work. Yeah, that'll be fun to see those too. And, Janie, a little muddy, if you will. That's one way to think of it, but really think of it as neutral. And why I want you to think about that is because neutral that's something you can go directly to the color wheel and you know what to do. Whereas muddy doesn't seem so much, and we're not really wanting mud, we're wanting harmony. Harmony. But you got the right idea. You got the right idea. And the only reason I say that is because I've wrestled with all these concepts myself. So we could ask if that's enough. Well, that definitely jumps off. Well, how could we get her to separate from the background a little better? Well, let's grab another character. All right, let's grab another character. So you see how that clean shadow now will jump off that background? Boom. Look at that. And immediately, she's off that background. Right on, Jane. Good. Yeah. There's right sentiment there, right sentiment. This is addressing. So this is exactly the purpose of these feedbacks. Yes, I individually want to give you guys help, but it's so hard to reach to everybody individually. right? So watch these, and am I doing this? What is he addressing? And again, it's just years and years of experience without having to spend the money on the paint. Right on. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, you guys are making me so happy. So happy. And so what would be the next thing? Would be some of that skin tone. Right, again, and all of this is rough because anything that kind of faces that direction, right? Wait, what just happened? What just happened? I'm telling you guys, this is easy. This is easy. Anything going back into space like that, I put that color on. And then when it turns this way, I left the color that it is. And then what I'm going to do is now as it turns this way, we're going to make a shadow on that face. And again, if she's not coming off the background, then what could we do? Could we maybe add a little chroma to the situation? Right? Could we, could it just almost melt in with that? And you had said about the under the chin, so let's talk about that right now. Right? Because that turns away because form, it's turning away from the light, turning away from the light, turning away from the light, turning away from the light. Right? And again, I know this is rough. I'm not trying to... But and the reason you can do this and it looks so good so fast is because the gray is there to work on top of. Work on top of. Yeah, work on top of. Yes. Right on, Karen. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Karen had mentioned about, maybe using this in a fireplace to keep her warm and just starting over. And I'm so glad that I got to you, because even if you do start over, it's not bad. Working on top of gray is one of the greatest joys in life for a painter. Seriously. Because then all that clean color that you always use, the missing factor is that gray kind of... Well, I've called it gross, right? That's baby poop. Who's going to put baby poop on their canvas? Well, if everybody knew what effect the baby poop had on colors and on white, everybody would be doing it. Now, those are our 4 characters, but is there one more character we could add? There's always a character you can add, but is it a good idea? Well, I don't know. You tell me. Again, with the pixels and everything, I don't know how fine I'm going to be getting, but we could oops, see, that's as small as I can get there. That's way too big. Just do for the eyes. And disregard the shape, but you see how clearly you get there? And then maybe not make the frames up so much. Or maybe it's a combination of both, or maybe you just do frames. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to look so blocky, but... Right, but darkening the frames too much kind of takes to me, the personality away and focuses more on the fashion. Now, that doesn't mean you won't be able to use a little black in there, but you see how we have these darks right here? And look, you see how my dark's just a bit more? If we can keep a bit more dark and just what's going to happen. What will happen if we were able to get some darkest dark next to the lightest light, next to the color, right? Problem solved. Problem solved. Okay, as much as I want to go in here and just work, I'm going to move on after I do one more thing. Because I think it'll be instructive and effective. There is a lot of warm in here. So whatever blue we're going to use, it's going to work, and I don't know what it is. I'd have to experiment. We can use that. All right, got to use what we got, peoples. We got to use what we got. You see it happening? Why is it not working yet? Why is it not working? Why is that blue not working? Working top of gravy. Yep, work on top of the gravy. Great. You know why is not that blue's not working yet? Light without shadow has no substance. Yep, there's me and my big words again, as Izzy would say. So the shadow stays the same value or very similar. Wow. And now can you guess what's up? So if I take that color, I do not want to put that color right here. Because what that does is it takes this, which is supposed to be in front, and sits it right next to the rest of this color. And so it takes this spot and flattens it out. But I do want to light that hand up. So what I do is I will take this color that I used here, and how do we bring something close to us, near to us in terms of color? Well, it's darker and richer. So for me, it's just a slight value, a little more chroma, and then I'm going to take it a bit towards red. And again, this is rough, and that might be too much. But you see now, this can still come forward and be in the light without competing. I know, right? It's like, it's so simple, but wow. And then the absence of light is the absence of light. It could get slightly richer up front, but I don't know why we would need it to. And then again, one of the reasons we're still looking at this hand is because of those hard edges. Again, we're a little bit too small, but as these edges go away, then right, some of that focus does as well. Okay, now she had asked about under the chin because her chin is lifted up, so we see the underplane of her chin along with the neck, and that's a major value change there. And so how you would show that is if we've got the shadow here, we're just going to go slightly lighter. It's still going to be darker than the light. And then we're going to go higher chroma and right? Warmer. So we're going to have a formed shadow still under there, but where it turns under, and see, that's green. I mean, it's not green, it's orange, but appears green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more red in that. And maybe lighten it up just a little bit more. And unfortunately, again, that's as small as I can make my pencil at this thing. But you want to leave a core shadow, and then where it goes down, might be some up in there, like that. Okay, I hope that answers that question. All right, any questions on this one before we move on? Adding, excellent. Okay. All right, well, let's get on to some cute little puppy dogs. Some cute little puppy dogs. Wait a minute, am I forgetting to do before and after? I know, I'm just, so, you see, so, man, when you see this, you should be jumping out of bed about 3:45 in the morning going, oh my God, I can't wait to paint today. Do you guys know? Do you have any idea? And go, yes, we do, Jason. Let's go. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. And then the only thing that's left is, and yeah, can I get your credit card numbers, please? Boom, you got it sold. Beautiful. Good job. Good job. Okay, this one too. At this point, I mean, it's always fun to me, but now we've got things in the right order, so this is what I mean. It's more a matter of kind of refinement, right? Pushing and pulling and getting things in the right space. So you had mentioned that the colors, and then on Rosa Bonheur, I hate trying to pronounce names. I hate trying to pronounce words, actually. But the French animal painter, or painter, she was a painter of animals, had some, I think they were bulls, pulling the plow, some wonderful, wonderful colors in there. And we talked about one reason that these colors aren't working is because of your background color. Wait, you just got through telling me, Papa, you got to gray that back. I said it's got to be weaker. But there's still a color, right? And what colors are they? And so let's just play with that idea a little bit. And I want to blow it up here to where we can really only see portions of the things, because what we're interested in is how the background color affects the colors that are on the dog. So where are we at right now? We're here. So this is showing up quite of a yellow green on my on the Procreate program. It's showing up very, very yellow green. So I don't know, but if we have yellow and orange and red in there, so we have red, orange, and yellow in the dogs, well then this is going to be pretty close to those. If we skip over green, and now blue's not into anything, and then now we're starting to get a little more red into it. So what will happen if we keep our color somewhere in this range? Now I'm afraid this is going to be too unrelated, but maybe not. Can you guys even see that? That is like super subtle. So all I've done is changed it from green to blue. Okay, so let's cover this area and see the effect it has. Did you guys see what happened there? What? Why did those colors get quote unquote cleaner? Well, they weren't coming out from the background. So what I did was I tried to separate them more. Now, value is one way to separate, but we were relatively happy with the value. So the other way we can separate is with color. And that's what I've done here. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to go back to the beginning because I forgot to layer up. Why did you guys not remind me to put another layer on here? All right, let's layer up. And then let's do that again. And let's just do that over this whole thing and see what happens. Because it's so instructive and it's so easy to do digitally. I mean, could you imagine trying to do this? And I know it's all the same value, so some of these values will go down or up a little bit. But what I'm looking for is the effect of this on the color of the dogs. Can you guys even see where I'm working? I know it's pretty subtle. So right now I'm right here. Right? Isn't that not amazing? When I first saw this, it like literally nearly blew my head off. I didn't even know how I was going to get home. I was, oh, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Wow. I thought I had solved world hunger. Problems were over. And the reason is it's just so powerful. Right? And the reason it's powerful is it's like being very clear with your words. Right? And not only with your words, but your tone of the words. Right? The rhythm of your speech, the tone of your words, the vocabulary you use. They all go together. And when that works, it's just, man. Hope you guys are okay with this because I'm in heaven here. Not for any what's going to happen after this? Nothing. It gets erased. But there's just a pure pleasure in watching it happen. Right? Just like there's a pure pleasure in the sunset. Right? Beauty is pure. And I know I joke about selling and credit cards and stuff all the time. But beauty is pure. Right? It's its own reward. It's its own reward. Right? And for me, that's a truly successful life. The work you're doing is its own reward, and the reward is so fulfilling. Okay, I'm probably taking this too far, but again, it just literally feels so good to see this happen. Right? It's like getting a massage or something. Wow. Oh, okay. Can we do 15 more minutes? Oh. Oops. No, we don't want to do that. Let's get rid of this. Okay, how are we doing? So we're coming in on an hour, and I did not touch the dogs. Whoops. Not an hour on this one, an hour on our program. And all I touched was the background. That's the whole deal with color right there, is just that relativity. And sometimes that's so difficult to get all those working together. Susan, you rascal. Susan's encouraged me to pronounce Rosa's name. And she even spelled it out. I'll practice after the show. I don't want to practice. I'm not that comfortable with you guys. All right, that blows me away. How'd you know the blue was the right chroma? Okay, so I explained it before, but again, sometimes it's hard to hear until you... Oh, you know what we're going to do here? Let me see. You guys get me so excited. I literally think about this stuff for years and years, and sometimes it's literally years before I get to share it with you guys. So how did I know it was the right chroma? So if we looked at the dogs, the colors on the dogs were somewhere in the range of here, from red to orange and yellow. Now, they were neutral, they were tan, they were grayed, they were high chrome, right? But those colors you're looking for are all right here. And what happened is when you did the gray background, you did put it neutral, but you kept it on the warm side. It was actually just over here to the green a little. And it had just enough red in it, and there was not enough separation that it just was like a mumble. There wasn't enough distinction. So all I did was take this gray that we had here, and I brought it around to this side. So then now the yellows, oranges, and reds you're using aren't out here, they're in here. And that's one reason they're so close. And so by moving that around to this side of the wheel, look, it literally separates that distance more. Right? And then if we thought about this as three-dimensional, we could also separate it in value. What's another way we could separate it? Edge. What's another way we could separate it? Paint quality. And that, what I just did on that painting, I'm doing this because we got so many comments that this was magic, and now I've lost there we go. So what we did on this painting was, again, it was gray, but you see it's on that green, yellow. You can almost see that yellow and even some orange back there in it. And I was just real diligent of kind of taking that away from the background. And now I don't like that flat that I did, but it just says, okay, I need to be in this hue family in these grays. Now, if it's too cold, if I went too cold, how could I do it? Again, by adding just a touch of some of those warms in there. That's the difficult part, is how much of those warms. And that's really what I mean more than anything, that color is a feeling. Color is a feeling. So, right, man, you guys are you guys tricking me and just making me talk longer? Making me so excited? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, right, of course. And that's what I mean, this is truth. Because when you understand it, it's not like, oh, because I took differential equations and calculus 77, now I understand. No, it's, oh, there's more room, and so it makes more noise. Of course. Water runs downhill because of gravity, and water has weight. Of course. Yeah. And so I know you guys think I'm joking sometimes when I say it's really, really, really simple. I'm not. It really, really, really is simple. So one last thing before we go, and I'll consider this a success because we kept it close to an hour. That shadow, sometimes that color can come, and the feeling in color can come from shadow as much as it can come from Like, we may be able to get away with that, but does that feel like a yellow shadow? Not really, right? Not really. So no matter what value you're in, chroma still exists. Does that feel like the yellow shadow? And again, I'm covering all the red because it's going to look different next to the red. And then now to me that looks more natural. And it separates from the blue. Whereas the dog up front, well, let's say you wanted him a little more on the orange side. Maybe more of a tone like that. Do you see? This is orange and that is yellow. So you got to ask yourself, what color am I working in? Because again, very seldom does it go, oh, we need this. It's usually just a slight color shift you need. And so it's important to realize, it's just not working. Well, do I need to redo the thing, or do I just need to shift the color a little bit? And then with this shadow, maybe that is more that red we had earlier. And again, by taking it off that black or a neutral and giving it the chroma family, the hue family it's in, boom, magic, right? So what I did there was I took orange and I multiplied it by 37.27 divided by pi, and then I took that and we I don't know, it's been so long since I had math, I forgot all the equations. No. No. Oh, why? How can I separate him from the other dog? Boom. Okay, guys. Okay, any last minute questions? It sounds like you guys have got what you need to get jump started. We went on an hour today, but I think it was really good information, and it seemed like you guys got it. And so I hope you guys all get out and go to work. So one more before and after before we go. Okay. So that will do it for me. Susan, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you so much for working so hard. Because without you guys submitting work and doing what I ask you to do, this is just a dead-end street. It's a dance. It's a dance with me and you, and it's a beautiful dance, and it's fun. And I want a group of friends I can hang out with and paint and talk about painting. So, excellent. Yes, re-inspired. Good. So happy. So today in what? In our studio time. Oops. Can I remember how to work this machine? I will be, oh, you can't see. I'll be working on that little lake painting, developing that. I've got a drawing that's horizontal and then a painting sketch that's vertical. I'm going to decide how that is going to go, and then I'm going to put that onto a slightly bigger canvas. And so that'll be studio time today if you're interested in that. And tonight we will have Masterworks, of course. And tomorrow we have our regular class Friday feedback. So if you've got something for the class, turn it in. If I've hit you in the last day or two, you know, I may not get to you. I want to make sure to get to people I have not gotten to. And please, if you're brand new and you're watching this, don't be intimidated by these painters. First of all, they're really nice people. And second of all, they want nothing but to help you out. And third of all, every single one of us, including me, started off not knowing jack, right? We were not born with this, but I made embarrassing drawings and embarrassing paintings for many years, and slowly, slowly, slowly I learned. And I don't think that it's necessary to take that long to learn. And that's what I've tried to set up, and I'm testing it out here free in December, 3 times a day, live on YouTube. Okay? Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Invite your family, friends, anybody you think might be interested. Okay? Love to all of you. Thank you so much. Go paint, 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 and be beautiful. See you guys later. Bye-bye.